Hello, dear stalkers. Today I'm making this video to address a few concerns I had regarding the release of S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2. As I am, and everybody else that is probably gonna watch this video, I'm sure that all of you are excited to get your grubby little bits onto it and play for yourself. But there are a few issues that S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 has that I think needs to be addressed. First and foremost, let's start with the fact that the last mainline release in the S.T.A.L.K.E.R universe that came from GSC Game World was Call of Pripyat, and that was in 2009. Just to give you some context of how long ago that was, you know, it was the year when Barack Obama took office. It was also the year when people's cell phones looked like this. I'm not gonna dive any deeper into reminding you how old you are, but don't worry, buddy, I feel old as well. So that begs the question, how did S.T.A.L.K.E.R stay so relevant for so long? And much like any other game that stays relevant for over 10 years, it's usually because of the mods. When people are allowed to mod their games, it's insane what kind of things they can do in it. We've seen this with a lot of other games as well. For example, Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 4 are still relevant to this day, and mods are still being made for it. Same goes for Skyrim. But how was S.T.A.L.K.E.R any different? S.T.A.L.K.E.R was different because S.T.A.L.K.E.'s mods effectively transformed the experience into something else. And I'm talking here about the bigger mods. Not the smaller ones, but the bigger mods that S.T.A.L.K.E.R had. Something akin to Misery, Dead Air, Gunslinger, those. And all this is slowly going somewhere, right? And that somewhere is S.T.A.L.K.E.R Anomaly. It's the latest and greatest mod out there for S.T.A.L.K.E.R, and it's something that a lot of people enjoy. When S.T.A.L.K.E.R Anomaly released, it was still in the niche somewhat, but recently, especially over the past 3 or 2 years, it has just shot into mainstream popularity, and there are many reasons for this. Let's take the first thing. It's completely free. You can go on the ModDB website and download the latest version of Anomaly and just start playing immediately. There's like nothing more to it. But it's also a free single-player game with no microtransactions. This obviously encouraged a lot of people that have never played S.T.A.L.K.E.R before to actually give it a go. And a lot of people seem to have enjoyed it because recently S.T.A.L.K.E.R has really sort of shot up into the mainstream again, especially leading up to the release of S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2. We have a lot of new S.T.A.L.K.E.R fans, and I'm really happy about that, to be honest. But then there's another problem with Anomaly, which is that Anomaly lets you completely customize your experience within the game. Almost every single value that is detrimental to the S.T.A.L.K.E.R experience can be tweaked to your liking. You want Anomaly to be a hardcore shooter and you don't really care about the economy or the inventory management? Well, yeah, you can do that. You're free to just sort of change up the settings, tweak the values of economy, and give yourself overwhelming payments for tasks and be done with it. You want to transform Anomaly into sort of a chill Call of Duty-esque shooter? Boom, you can do that. And Anomaly more or less became every man's S.T.A.L.K.E.R game. It was a glove that fit all sizes. And that's kind of a problem when we're talking about S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2, especially. And I think you as well are starting to see what the problem is in regards to the release of S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2. Anomaly has essentially given players, and by players I mean you watching this right now, it has given you the ability to form and mold your own perfect S.T.A.L.K.E.R and just craft your experience within it. And this sort of exacerbated a lot of problems that the S.T.A.L.K.E.R community already had. And one of the biggest problems is the fact that most stalkers out there, they have their own perfect way of playing Stalker, and they have their own idea of what Stalker is. To some people, Stalker is a game which is focused about a story that has hardcore elements and it's fun. To some people, it's a hardcore tactical survival shooter, while to some, it's a horror game. And that has created a lot of different expectations of what Stalker 2 should be. And let's just be honest here. Trying to satisfy a community as fractured as the Stalker community is an impossible task. It's an impossible task that GSC realized that they couldn't achieve. So they chose to stick to the originals and what made them great and make a new game similar to the originals. And I think that's the right choice here. Because Stalker has an incredible amount of mods. Every single Stalker player has their own experience in their own game. They have their own modded versions of modded versions. And it was going to be really difficult to try to cater to all of them. And if the late AAA industry is anything to go off of, when you do try to satisfy everybody, you truly end up satisfying no one. And you just end up with a slop of a game that gets forgotten in the next 2 years. I don't want you to think that I'm some sort of Elmer Fudd here that is going to tell you that the best way to play Stalker is strictly sticking to the original games and not touching the mods. Because I myself am a huge fan of Anomaly. I myself have a modified version of EFP 4.2, which you've been seeing in the background so far, and this is the sort of experience that I enjoy. But what I want to tell you is that when Stalker 2 eventually releases and you get to play it, don't treat it like the mod that you're playing, or don't expect a better version of Anomaly out of it, because that's not what you're gonna get. And you're gonna feel bad, and you're gonna feel disappointed. So please, dear Stalkers, I implore you to sort of keep your expectations in check and give Stalker 2 a go for what it is, which is a sequel to the originals and not the mod that you've been playing for so long. And so far, what we've seen from Stalker 2, it's awesome. It looks awesome, and the gameplay that we've seen, it plays awesome. We don't know a whole lot about it yet, but everything that was done there is good. Stalker 2 is going to be great, and I'm sure of that. But what I'm not sure of is if everybody else is going to think the same. Maybe Stalker 2 will be great, and it will be great if we don't treat it as something that it was never meant to be in the first place. So, thank you for making it to the end of this video, if you want to talk about it, or if you have any opinions about this subject, make sure to leave them down in the comments below. Again, I'm a small channel, so I'll be more or less open to discussing a few things, or if I manage to get something wrong, make sure to correct me. And with all that, до свидания и удачи, Stalker.